everybody. I'm Anita Finley. Hello, and we
Lord.
are doing another great ZOOMERTimes TV show. And especially as the weather isn't so good, it's lovely to be inside. And I've got, isn't this interesting? There are no women, all men. Boy, don't I love this. So we are going to be meeting you're going to be meeting four spectacular people who are really very, very important for society. Each has done their own things in life, but now they've all come together because they want to help people. And you can see in the background there is a banner that says Perfect Edge Botanicals, 100% natural. We'll start with, we're going to really start with, I guess maybe Scott. Let's start with you, Scott. Scott Norville. And Scott, you've been a very high-powered executive for a long time, and here you are now working in a field that's pretty new. What is it, maybe 10 years old? How old is the hemp, the CBD?
Well, the hemp in 1937, due to what occurred in the industry, was banned and classed as a class 1 drug. But the last, I guess, Rob, 2016, I believe the Farm Bill Act allowed hemp to start being grown again. And I got involved because we had a friend for a long time that talked about this product and how it could help us with and I have real bad hands from growing up in South Florida and playing golf all my life. And I started taking the product for basically for inflammation and everything, and I could start playing again. I didn't play for 3 years. And then we got our compassion for it. And also my sister has a cat that's on it. The cat was going to be put down at 18 years old, and the cat is 21 now and still going strong. So that's why I take the product and basically.
Okay. So that's your story, and it's a good story. And now Rob Nosel is someone I've known for many years, and he's been a high-powered financial executive, and he called me one day and he said, Anita, I have to talk to you about this great product and company now that I have just co-founded. What is it, Rob? What did you say, Rob?
Well, Anita, thanks for having us. It was an interesting experience because at the time, about 4 or 5 years ago, a friend of ours who we partnered with at the farm kept telling us about something called CBD. And we said, well, listen, if you can't get high, nobody's going to buy it. So what had happened was at the time I had 2 golden doodles, 2 14-year-old brothers. And Elmo was a crack addict, would jump all around, and Zoe couldn't get up off the floor. Well, I gave him our pet product, and in 1 week I had a new dog, and it was just absolutely amazing. So Scott, Eric, and I have known each other for more than 25 years. We sat down with the farm partner and said, what is this thing about? And it just took off after that. It's funny because we say that we were a garage band right at one point, and now we're actually going on tour. And then we had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Spirazza and his knowledge and his holistic approach to medicine and helping patients. And we have just started expanding our operations, not only in the human market, but as well in the pet market. So it's been a very exciting trip for us.
We're saving, pardon my expression, we're saving the best for last. I'm only kidding, you're all good, but Dr. Spirazza is my doctor, and having someone like that come. So I'm going to first get to Eric Robinson. You know, Eric, when I first talked with you, I thought you were just a good-looking, great guy. I didn't know you had all this power. How can you stand yourself?
I'm a 38-year pharmaceutical and diagnostics, I'm going to call it a worker. I was vice president of sales at Quest Diagnostics. I had every job except president at Johnson & Johnson for 10 years. And I'm the president of the NFL Player Association for Florida. And I am a happy CBD user. I've had a knee replacement. I've had 6 knee operations. My left shoulder's been rebuilt. My right ankle, if I showed you pictures of it, it would make you sick. It was pointing like southeast on a northbound knee. That was my last day in the NFL. And it's just, you know, the CBD has helped me so much. And when you really realize, you know, it's not like taking a pain pill like an oxycodone or whatever it is. I'm actually allergic to codeine, but it's like you can't, when you stop taking it, that's when you know. You're like, oh my goodness, this stuff is great, because it's your quality of life just comes straight up. It makes you calmer mentally, like, and that's, you know, my better half, she takes it for that reason, and takes away anxiety, but also the inflammation and the pain that I have. It really helps me and makes
We're
me.
going to come back to you because I know you also have animals that are helped. But I want to talk now to Dr. Carl Spirazza. He is a gem, and he cares about his patients. The first time I went to him, I actually brought a friend, and I never saw a doctor who was so caring and so interested, and actually didn't push pills, wanted her to have something that was natural. So it was perfect when he found this. And good morning, Dr. Spirazza. I wanted to find out how this all came about for you.
Good morning. Thank you for the kind words. Well, I'm a DO. I'm board certified in family practice, and we've always been taught a more holistic approach to patient care. So every visit, we're always talking either nutraceuticals, vitamins. Echinacea back in the day when they try to help your immune system, but little did I know at the time that the echinacea actually worked on your endocannabinoid system. So the endocannabinoid system is fairly new to our current knowledge.
I can't even spell that.
But it incorporates all of our body systems, our cardiovascular, our central nervous system, our dermatologic, our hematologic. So we're just starting to make headways into that whole endocannabinoid system. So we've known about the benefits of hemp oil for centuries, for eons. The ancient Egyptians, the ancient Romans, our founding fathers. When our founding fathers came, our first settlers came to America, it was mandatory for them to grow hemp. I mean, hemp was a source of fiber, of paper, of clothing, of sails. And then they found medicinal use where they found it helpful for a lot of different purposes. So the hemp oil is very rich in cannabinoids. The most common one is cannabidiol, otherwise known as CBD. But the hemp oil, the hemp plant has over 100 cannabinoids, and we're just starting to break the surface, starting to understand it.
So Dr. Spirazza, excuse me, I just need to ask you, so if you have a patient who came in for something else, how do you broach this? How do you talk to that person who you think could be helped with this?
Well, it's not for everybody, but you find certain niches for certain groups of people. Predominantly, I guess the two major things that I've seen is anxiety, inflammation, and pain. And I can't think of a better time for a natural organic product to help people today in this current pandemic. So people are anxious. It manifests in a lot of different ways. So you sort through that, and underlying anxiety, if you combine it, if they have inflammatory pain, neuropathic pain, the hemp oil helps. What I found in my practice is patients are not needing as much pain medicine. We're actually getting them off of their tranquilizers and even their sleep medication.
That's fantastic. So let me jump back to Rob a minute, because when Rob first came to me, I always say, well, Rob, how do you know it's good? And Rob pulls out all these papers and tells me about the farm and the organic. Why don't you do your little talk that you did to me, Rob, to assure me that it is the best one that is on the market, in your opinion?
Well, it's very important that you know where it's sourced from, because hemp is a remediator of soil. So what's ever in that soil is going to be very potent in that oil. So one of the things that we explored about our farm is that the farm is an FDA registered facility. They are USDA Certified Organic. They have what's known as an ISO 9001 certification, which is a higher standard than GMP. They're kosher, and the farm grows the plants somewhere between 6,000 and 9,000 feet in eastern Colorado. And they produce for us different types of tinctures, gummies, gel caps, and topical creams. And what we did really is how Eric and Scott and I learned about this is that the farm guy said, here, try it. And that's what we do to everybody. We say, here, try it. And eventually, whether it's pain, inflammation, anxiety, depressions, or sleeplessness, it seems to help people. Now, everybody's different, as Doctor mentioned, but it seems it's based on your genetics, your metabolism, and what's wrong with you.
And I want to get now back to you, Scott, because you said that, you know, you've suffered with certain kinds of pain. And when you take this, and how much do you take, and what does it make you feel like? Do you notice a difference right away? So when people now want to order it from your company, what should they expect?
Okay, well, the Mayo Clinic, you know, what they're saying is that 25 to 50 milligrams a day is something that if you take that for 5 to 6, 7 days, that's where you want to start at. For instance, Rob and Eric and myself, we take about 100. You know, I'm the oldest. We're in our 60s, and Eric's still in his 50s. So you got to figure out what works for you. So you titrate up or down depending on how much you're taking. I also wanted to say to finish up with Rob, we take our product from the greenhouse to all the way from the seed to the field to the finished product. So we know where it is from start to finish. And what you do is 25 to 50 mgs a day. So if you're on a 1,000, that's 33 1/3 milligrams a day. That's where we recommend somewhere around there to start.
Okay, but now just go back to one thing. So I see you have products in the back there in the lighted case.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know what you should have? I mean, everybody likes to have candy, so the gummies sounded good, but what is the liquid? Do you take it on a spoon? Is it in a dropper? Explain it, please.
So the dosage would be probably a half in the morning and half in the evening, and that'll last you 30 days. So
What does it taste like? What does it taste like?
It's strong, Anita.
I mean, is it taste okay?
Everybody's
Great.
different about that. The oil is cut with vanilla and fractionated coconut oil. So it takes a little bit of the sting out of it. But as I think Dr. Spirazza would say, the best way to do this is to take the drops under the tongue, hold it there for 20 seconds, and then you just swallow down. Some people don't like the taste, so that's why they take the gel caps or the gummies. But I would, if doctor would concur that the best way to do it is through sublingual under your tongue.
Okay, so Scott, getting back to you, you have noticed a difference? I mean, if you now got off of all this and you went back, would you be in pain?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be able to play golf anymore. I mean, I didn't play golf for 3 years, and I've been doing that all my life, growing up in Miami and going to University of Miami. And it's a passion of mine. It's a great way to make friends and have a good time. I couldn't go off of it. I haven't been off of it 3 years, and I'm playing golf at the club again a couple days a week.
And I think you also have something that you can rub on your arm. Let's say you hit your arm at something and it hurts. You have a lotion or you have something, don't you? And that makes it easy for people.
Oh, absolutely. We have a 500 milligram and a 1,000 milligram cream that you can rub on where it hurts. You can put it on every couple hours. Carl knows the best of this because he gives it to some of his patients when they come in, and it comes back 15 minutes later, and he probably could reflect on that better.
So they call him the Miracle Man. So Eric, it's your turn now. I know you have so many stories about what's happened for you because you have really been, because you haven't just been playing golf. You're playing really in the heat of the traffic of the football world. But let's just go back to what you said. I heard you tell me about, you know, your pets, and that's really important. But yourself, so you sit there, you take some, you give your pet some, and then you don't go into la la land though. That's really important that you explain that. This is strictly, you don't feel different as far as your brain, right? You can function, but your body feels better.
You know, that's exactly, I can tell you that the biggest thing that really sold me on this is that, you know, there's no placebo effect with a pet. Like with humans, you can say, hey, take this and you'll feel better, but you can't tell a pet that, you know. But I have two Labradors and they both were staggering around. I mean, they were in horrible shape. And I started putting this on their food, and I got to tell you something. They're still here. But they were new dogs, and they used to only way I could say it is stagger. They would stagger out of the door, and now they run out of the door. And that was what really sold me at the beginning of this, was that, the pets don't know that they're supposed to be feeling better.
Right. But Eric, what you've given them is the same thing I would take?
Yeah.
Is there a separate pet
It's a lower
formula?
dose. It's a lower dose. It's 300 to 600 milligrams as opposed to 1,000. But that's because dogs have many more receptors. So when you look at these pets, now I don't have other pets that I've used it on, but I've heard stories of people that have all kinds of exotic pets and they use it on them. I think Rob could probably comment on on an iguana that they
Yeah. we Anita, just for everybody's edification, our pet line is cut with salmon oil, so it's really not made for humans, and the human is cut with fractionated coconut oil. But to Eric's point, we have dogs, cats, ferrets, and we even have an iguana and a parrot on it. So, and again, like Eric said, there's no placebo effect. Either it works or it doesn't. And we've had many testimonials and stories of dogs running again. I mean, that's the reason why I'm in this business, is because our dog and cat, we put it on it, and new animals.
I have tried the salmon flavor. It tastes like salmon.
Self? Are you barking now?
Pretty much. Only on
So
full moon.
Dr. Spirazza, we know that as a physician, you can do no harm. That's your motto, especially as a DO. Osteopathic physicians are famous for they go overboard for caring, and I know that. I've always wanted to go to a DO rather than even an MD. So you're assured when you offer this, or you suggest this to your patients, that it's not going to do anything but help them, right?
There's absolutely correct. If I could just clarify a point, when everyone's talking about the 300 and 600 and 1,000, just for clarity, what that represents is how many milligrams of CBD is actually in that tincture bottle. And then the tincture bottle comes with a dropper. So like was previously mentioned, you could regulate the dose that works for you. So on the 1,000 milligram bottle, a whole dropper full would be 33 milligrams, which falls within that 25 to 50 milligram range. So that gets into dosing. So the tincture adds a lot of variability because everybody's needs are different for how much they need. And one other point, if you don't mind, when I first was reading up and doing my due diligence on hemp oil, I did my homework, and there's not many companies that could say that have all the qualifications that Perfect Edge has. In addition to what was already mentioned, they have the same cloned line of plants for the last 7 years now. So what's unique to these guys is that their product is consistent from dose to dose, and that's important. The other thing is patients, unfortunately, are at the mercy of Google and Amazon, and there's not a lot of truth in labeling. There's no FDA scrutiny in that regard. So patients really need to do their homework. You want something grown in the United States. And doing my homework, I found there's not many companies that have the qualifications that Perfect Edge has.
Dr. Spirazza, I'm so glad you said that, because in the marketing business I see it all over. And when you ask them about their product, they don't know very much. And if they do, it's poor. So I have said before, I have great confidence in Dr. Carl Spirazza, and we will be putting his phone number up when you see this video. And also the Perfect Edge Botanicals, you'll be able to go directly to them and also get that from them. And I think it's important that you're so right. You don't want to buy things from China. You don't want to buy things from across the world where you don't know good. What are you going to do if it doesn't work? But at least Dr. Spirazza takes full responsibility if you're not feeling well and you're taking it. He's going to be there to help you. And of course, you've met now Eric and Rob and Scott, and they're coming on now to talk to you. They're not hiding behind some, screen, some desk somewhere, and they just pump this stuff out. I have full confidence in them, and everybody knows that I've been working in this area as a gerontologist for a long time. So let's, Dr. Spirazza, I want to stick with you for another minute here. The one thing you said was true. A lot of people don't know how much to take, and a lot of people selling it don't know what to tell them.
So you start low and go slow. But the nice thing is you're never going to overdose. So when the Farm Bill was passed, they allowed hemp oil as long as it has less than 0.3% THC. So Perfect Edge follows those guidelines. You want to make sure the product has a certificate of analysis. And on that certificate of analysis, we'll list the different cannabinoids that are in it. And the important thing is to look for the THC content as long as it's less than 0.3%. The other thing is they also have a line of THC Free products. So if someone has a job position that they might be drug tested on, or they're sensitive to THC, they do have THC free. And one more distinction, which is important, it would be in terminology. You'll see CBD isolates, which is not the same. It doesn't have the full spectrum. We talk about the entourage effect because hemp oil also has flavonoids and terpenes, and all that adds to the additive effect, the benefits. And lastly, full spectrum versus broad spectrum. Full spectrum does contain some of that THC, less than 0.3%. Broad spectrum has 0 THC.
Thank you, Dr. Spirazza. I want to jump to Eric because he's one of the most, he's not the most interesting person of the three of you, but for me, he's kind of special because I've never met a real football player and someone who's been through so much. So Eric, you're my hero here. I want to talk to you about, you must have been hurting. I mean, when you see the guys taking the kinds of abuse they do. And so have you now shared all this with all your teammates and all your friends?
Yes, actually, Jamie Duke and I are business partners. Jamie is from the NFL Network, intelligent guy. I'm going to brag a little bit here. My brother and I are the only two guys that have ever made academic All-American on the same team in NCAA history, ever or since. But I'm going to tell you, I'm the science geek of the NFL, basically. And being the president of Florida, I get to sit with Troy Vincent and Roger Goodell and DeMaurice Smith, all the guys that run the NFL. And I speak to these guys, and you would not believe, it would be a shorter list to find out how many NFL players don't use this product. So now I want to comment because there's a lot of junk out there as far as CBD oil is concerned. But when you look at this farm, CBD oil grows at 1,000 to 3,000 feet, and that's how it is the most potent. And I would say that, when you look at our product, it's cloned, so you get the same product. And they did a study on Channel 6 in Miami. You can look up Channel 6 in Miami, and they did a study, and they had 16 products, and 2 of them had what they really were supposed to have, and that's crazy. But on the other hand, I know that, it's for me, the NFL is, guys, if you were to watch, we had an event at Top Golf one time, And if you were to watch these guys walk up the stairs, it was the most hilarious thing you've ever seen. Because in the NFL, you play until you can't play anymore. And, it's a very violent game, and there's a lot of wear and tear on your body. And that's why these guys use the product. That's why.
Hey, Anita, let me add on. We grow between 6,000 and 9,000 feet. We use no pesticides. We use praying mantis and ladybugs. And also, it's tested 3 times. So it's tested by the farm. It's tested by a third party. And then, of course, Eric, Rob, and myself, we test it locally also by independent labs so that you know what you're getting.
That's really important, because years ago, I remember they even had a problem with vitamins, that it wasn't in what the vitamin bottle said. But, Rob, you certainly, I know I've always been fond of you in so many ways, but you certainly do have a lot of friends, nice friends. How do you get these nice friends? You must be so nice to them. What makes you so special, Rob?
They each get a
I'm going to really boost you up here.
Anita, they each get a little bit something extra in their paycheck every week.
Right.
It'd be nice. It's just that, listen, we're good people, and what we want to do is we pay it forward. Okay, we're transparent, we're ethical. Like, again, Eric and I and Scott know each other for excess of 25 years. We've kept our friendship because we've always done the right thing. And when you do the right thing, you don't have to look back and you don't have to worry. And what we like doing now is trying to pay it forward by, again, how we get everybody to get on it is go, here, try it.
I know you've done that, and everyone that we've done that with is amazing, because a lot of them have been on pharmaceuticals. They've not been on things like this. That's the most wonderful part about this, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it's very rewarding. Very rewarding.
And Rob, you've of course been in the financial world, so now you're in the medical world. So you must be very excited about this.
Well, the excitement is because as a financial advisor or planner, people always feel that your hand is in their pocket, because the only way you're going to make money is doing a transaction. Here, we're dealing with people's health. This is not threatening at all. This is, here, try this, feel better. We have sent this, we've had some success, and Dr. Spirazza could attest to this, with autism, traumatic brain injury. I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't know yet, but with the advent of this farm bill and the research now will start to happen here in the United States, there's so much more application that would be happening.
I'd love to hear I'd love Dr. Carl Spirazza to tell the story about the gummies.
Oh, please, Dr. Spirazza. I love that candy. Does it just taste like candy, or what does it do?
It tastes like your typical gummy bear. And again, this is all anecdotal, but they know that the hemp oil is also good for movement disorders, your mood. It works in the central nervous system, and it's shown some benefit for patients with autism. But I have a 22-year-old autistic woman who also has severe OCD and some violent outbursts and a seizure disorder to go with the mix. So she's living at a home for other patients like herself, and her mother was tired of all the medications that the neurologist was throwing her way. And we've been using the THC Free gummy bears on her. And this was a letter that the mom had sent to me, because we've been trying to find the right dosage for her. And here's her comment. She goes, Dr. S, the gummies are working. No seizures since May 11th. Less anxiety, more independent, and communicating better.
And with that, I have to tell you that I think we're running out of time. That's a great way to end this. And if you go to see Dr. Spirazza, he'll show you that letter. And it's really important. So thank you. It's been a wonderful session. I think everybody who's listening to this or will listen to it can now call Dr. Spirazza. We'll certainly now go to Perfect Edge Botanicals. They know now someone who's in the NFL and a great golfer, and then Rob Nosel. So Eric Robinson, Scott, and Rob, you're wonderful. I'm so glad that you've been on this, and enjoy the rainy day today.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.